It's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. And the world in America, it's always a little bit crazy, isn't it? Well, the world is crazy wherever you live. Well, it's just not stopping, is it? In America, it's getting crazier and crazier. These Epstein files, they're not going away as far as Donald, or Donica now, as his new nickname is. Donald Trump. I don't know how this is all going to pan out in the end for him. You know, this is the president of the free world, and the rumours that are going round, and maybe they are rumours. I mean, I'm sure a lot of, there's a lot of pressure on Donica, or Donald, sorry. I really like that nickname. I'll explain where that's come from in a minute, if you don't already know. I mean, I know a lot of people don't follow these sort of cases as closely as maybe I do and some of my followers. So maybe you don't know the latest developments or the latest scandal or the latest rumours about Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, you know, being in everything together and even maybe being very good friends. More than just good friends. And an email that's been sort of highlighted. And you know what, whether it's true or not, but we're going to talk about it in a minute before I get into actually what the email is, just makes sense to me in a way, because Putin has definitely got something on Donald Trump, 100%. Donald Trump is like his puppet, isn't he? He's like not scared of him at all. He keeps saying, oh yeah, we'll have a ceasefire. Oh yeah, we'll have peace talks. But really, and then he just does what the hell he wants. So I do think, and Putin, of course, has released, or the Russian propaganda machine has released many photos of Melania. You know, I am 100% certain now Melania was trafficked. She was trafficked. She was Epstein's girlfriend before she was Trump's. And I think 100% that woman was trafficked. And there's also a lot of gag orders going out across the USA. Anyone who even says that. Anyway, I think it allegedly is possible. Maybe I should say it's possible that she was trafficked. But just things that make sense are true, aren't they? And things that don't make sense are not true. Where did Melania come from? Why was she seeing Epstein first? And then suddenly she was with Donald Trump. You know, how did that happen? And knowing what we know now about the trafficking, etc., you've got to think that it's probably quite likely that Melania was trafficked as well. Anyway, never mind. So, as I say, sorry I was a little bit late coming on stream because I was doing some more members emojis, which let me just put them up again. New emojis. While we're talking about the Epstein files, we've got Bubba and Donica. Emojis. I'm going to do a lot more about. I should have done one of Andrew, shouldn't I? The sort of formerly known as Prince. Should have done an emoji about him. There's lots of emojis, I think, because I think we're going to be talking about this whole thing for quite a long time, aren't we? There's a lot to talk about. But it's difficult to sort out the wheat from the chaff, what is true, what isn't true. Definitely Donald will be being set up by the Republicans, by the Democrats, of course. So we've got to take everything, we've got to look into everything and see what is true and what isn't. But to me, there's just so much, even if not all of it is true, some of it is going to be true, isn't it? And see now he's suing the BBC for $2 billion, apparently. Why is he not suing all these other people, you know, that say they're going to do this, that and the other, or releasing this information? Sue them, Donald. You're not suing them because it makes you think, well, he's not suing them because what they're saying is true. So all this suing of the BBC and everything is a distraction, in my opinion. The BBC, well, you know, we all, to me, the BBC, it's like it's like that member of your family, or maybe your partner, or maybe your child, or someone in your family that, you know, you can criticize them, but don't be bloody Elon Musk and Donald Trump criticizing them. You know, sort your own house out, get your own house in order first before you start, you know. So I've got, started to feel even a little bit proprietorial with the BBC, a little bit defensive of them, of the things that they do well. You know, their news is odd, but I think that's true of all news outlets, isn't it? You know, what they did to Donald with Twist in that interview was wrong. And of course, especially wrong because it's giving him a stick to beat them with. Oh God, he'd be loving that, won't he? But, you know, and all the things, the PDFs that have worked there over the years, like Savile and Edwards and all of them. But, you know, they do a lot of good things as well, program-wise, like the nature programs, the dramas, etc. Anyway, so the only reason I'm feeling defensive towards them is because I don't want Donald Trump telling me what to think, or Elon Musk. Same with Britain in general. You know, if you live in Britain, maybe you are critical about what's going on there, but you don't want people from other countries. I know I'm from another country, but I am British at least. You don't want my family live there, etc. And I may go back there one day. At the end of the day, I am British. You don't want other countries telling you, or, you know, like with your family, you might know that maybe sometimes someone in your family, things they do are brilliant, but you don't want other people telling you that. Same with like any job that I've ever had when I've been like a manager. You know, if staff get into a dispute with a customer, I always support my staff in the moment, always. Afterwards, might take them to one side and say, look, hang on, you shouldn't have done that, or you shouldn't have spoke. But I never have embarrassed my staff in front of other people, because you have to show a unity, don't you? So you have started to feel, even the BBC, a little bit sort of, oh, no, how dare you say that about our BBC? You know, it's that sort of thing. But, you know, having said that, you have to be, you know, conscious of what they do wrong, and they did do it wrong. And it's a very odd thing, that, isn't it? Because why did they twist that speech around? Why? And why is that only coming out now? Because that speech, of course, was ages ago. So why, you know, so then you've got to look sort of, why was that not complained about at the time? Why is it only being complained about now, years down the line? It's at least 4 years ago, isn't it? So it's all odd, isn't it? You know, so you know, then you think you're just being manipulated into thinking a certain way or doing a certain thing. But anyway, it's brought down the Director General of the BBC and the other woman that was in an influential position. It's led to a lot of criticism, but it's also led to a lot of people suddenly defending the BBC that didn't defend them before. It's a crazy world in every way you can imagine, isn't it? Anyway, so first of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for any positive contribution you make to my channel. But the most people always that I want to thank are my members. So there's more different members emojis if you want to put that up about Bubba and Donica. Yeah, maybe I need to have a bit of a big change with the emojis. Just, you know, some emojis are like favorites, some members emojis that get put up over and over again. You know, and some, of course, I just have to change here and there depending on the case that we're doing, etc. I wish I had like 50 emojis to put, but I haven't got that many members yet. But the more members that I have, the more emojis that I can use. So thank you for being members for that reason as well. So, reasons for becoming a member, of course, are we have a members live every Thursday, an exclusive members live, but also just to support my channel, to be able to use the emojis, etc. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Also, thank you to everyone who sends me a Ko-fi, buys me a Ko-fi or sends a super sticker, sends me an email, leaves a nice comment. Any positive way you contribute to my channel, thank you. So, right, I'm going to come into the chat now, see what's happening in the chat. Now, the first thing I want to say as well is I know that there's some of my followers are Trump supporters, and I'm not, that's fine. At the end of the day, on my channel, you have a right to your opinion, whatever it is, even if you do like Trumpy. Whether I like him or not doesn't matter. I mean, there's some things that I thought the only thing that I ever thought that Donald Trump might contribute positively in this second term that he's got, is stop the wars. That's what he promised. I don't think he has really, has he? He's supposed to have got this peace deal in Gaza, but has he though? I mean, is there peace in Gaza now? Because also Netanyahu, he seems to be in his pocket. He's in Israel's pocket, and he's in Putin's pocket, and makes you wonder what Putin's got on him, what has Netanyahu got on him, And what I think is, why has nobody else been arrested in the, only Ghislaine who's in prison? Where's my handcuffs? Where's the other handcuffs? Where's Prince Andrew's handcuffs? Why hasn't he been arrested? Nobody else has been arrested except for Ghislaine. Epstein, of course, but he's dead. He's mysteriously died in prison. The French guy, Brunel, was it? He mysteriously died in prison. Virginia Giuffre, she's dead. They're all dead, dropping like flies. So where's the other arrests? That's all I want to know about this. I don't understand why nobody else. Hey. Right, are you going in the bathroom? Go on. In the bathroom. You bad girl. Oh, gosh, always the same, isn't it? It's only the neighbours outside. I mean, they're not doing anything. To be honest, not even the Chihuahua. Totally unnecessary. So, yeah, where's the arrests? Where's the handcuffs on these people? But anyway. So let me just say hello to everyone now who's in the... Oh, hello, lovely lurkers. Hello, replay crew. Thank you so much for watching. Now I'm coming into the chat. Hi, David. Hi, Darren. Hi, Daniel. Happy Sunday. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Angel. Yeah, Putin's definitely got something on Donica. Definitely, because he's not, he keeps going to the brink, doesn't he? Reminds me of Hitler, really. Remember when Hitler, who was it? One of our Prime Minister, the UK Prime Minister, went over and got Hitler to sign a peace agreement before the Second World War. And Hitler just said to his sort of propaganda machine, I gave him my autograph. So he signed this peace agreement, and was it Chamberlain? I think it was Chamberlain. Came back waving this piece of paper around. Hey! Saying, right, that is it. No. I told you to be quiet and you weren't quiet, so you go to the bathroom. You're a bad girl. Don't listen. Oh, these dogs, honest to God, They just don't take any notice of me. That's what's so annoying. But she's still got to have the last word. Oh, she's opened the door now and coming out. You bark one more time, I'll put you somewhere you can't open the door. Anyway, so yeah, Neville Chamberlain, I think it was. So he came back from Germany, wafting this piece of paper around, peace in our time, got off the plane, all great. And Hitler just said, oh, well, I just gave him my autograph, because it didn't mean anything. That peace agreement to Hitler meant nothing. And Putin's a little bit like that, isn't he? So he goes, Donica's always saying, oh, yeah, I had this great conversation with Putin. Oh, it's great. And yeah, there'll be peace soon. You mark my words, blah, blah, blah. And then it doesn't happen. Then he goes, oh, no, well, Putin's renegaded on his word. Or Putin's not scared of him. He's not scared of any sanctions that he might do. I think he's definitely got something on him, definitely, and I've thought that for a long time. But it's to do with Melania, I thought. So we'll see today. I'll be asking you what you think. Do you think he's got compromising photos of Trump with Bill Clinton? This is what people are saying. This is what's all over the social media this weekend, is that actually Donica is bisexual. He's had some sort of fling with Bill Clinton. So we're going to talk about it. Now, there'll be a lot of people out there maybe that don't remember Bill Clinton, if you're not as old as I am. Bill Clinton, when he was president of the United States, and he was a bit like a Teflon person, wasn't he? Because although there were so many scandals about Bill Clinton, I think we can, really say unreservedly he was a womanizer, he was a philanderer. And then there was the marijuana thing that we're going to talk about in a bit. But he's a very charismatic man, and he was popular. People can, pretend he wasn't, but he was popular. People loved him, a bit like Trump, how popular he is no matter what he does. You'll always get these MAGA people, these Trumpites, the Trumpers, as I call them, who will defend him no matter what he does. But he does some really weird things. And one of the videos I'm going to show you is the way he talks about his daughter as well. I don't know if you know about that, but he's got this very strange view on women in general. Women are just sex objects to Donald Trump, in my opinion. I've not seen anything that's proven to me that he thinks anything else of women. And Bill Clinton was a bit the same, but he was, of course, Bill Clinton was backed up by Hillary Clinton, who is a very clever woman. Again, whether you like her, you don't like her, she's very clever. They say she likes women more than men, and that's why she turned, but again, that's allegedly, that's why she turned a blind eye to all Bill Clinton's philanderings, etc. I don't know if that's true or not. They're still together, technically. They're still in a marriage. I don't think, as far as I know, there's been any scandal about Bill Clinton for a while. But, of course, he's getting older now. But, that doesn't always matter, does it? But, so, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Sorry, I got completely derailed. You know what I'm like with my waffle. Hi, Angel. Yeah, pizza emoji, yeah. She was 100%, in my opinion. Melania was trafficked. I don't know if she was brought in through him, but she came in from Eastern Europe, didn't she? But she was a model, so you could be right. Could be right. Sorry, I'm just going through the chat now. So a lot of you are all chatting. Hi, Paul. Yeah, a lot of chatting. You're all having a good chat on there. Yeah, So let's just talk about Bill Clinton for a minute. And so apparently Bill Clinton, his nickname was Bubba. And now apparently one of these emails that's come out, now there's probably lots of people that have got a nickname Bubba. I think it's quite a common nickname, to be fair, in America. Bubba is a very common nickname. So, of course, because this email has come out, where's the email? Because this email has come out that somebody has allegedly said, well, they've definitely said in the email, but who's the Bubba that they're referring to? That's the question, isn't it, really? Let me just, sorry, I was just putting some windows down. I've got the email somewhere. Where's the email gone? Oh, God, I have the email right there, ready to show. Where's this bit? Oh, there it is. God, I had it on there. There you go. So on this email, let me just put my glasses on just to read it. Nope, can't put my glasses on because I don't know where they are. Can see it really, more or less. So, what did he say? Where's it gone? Oh, well, there's a picture of Donald. That's, I want to talk about that, but yeah, let's show you this video, perhaps, first of all. This saying this has been fiddled with. This email. I mean, it is quite funny, isn't it? So you've got Donica. So they're starting to call Donald Donica over social media because do you remember Monica Lewinsky? When Bill Clinton was president, and Bill Clinton, he was a very handsome man, he was a very charismatic man. Women loved him. I remember thinking he was nice, years ago. Now I'm a lot younger than him, but I remember thinking, oh, God, he's a bit of all right. And not only that, he's, so this is Monica Lewinsky. She was like an aide, wasn't she, in the White House? And she is now an American activist. She's now 52 years old. She was so much younger than him, let's say, very glamorous, as you can see. And there was this massive scandal, wasn't there? Because she said she had 9 sex encounters with President Bill Clinton in the Oval Office between November 1995 and March 1997. And according to her testimony, these encounters involved oral sex and other sex acts, but not sex intercourse. And good old Bill, he came out, didn't he? Good old Bubba came out and said, I did not have sex with that woman. So, according to her, he did not have sex with her. She agrees with that. She said it didn't include sex intercourse. There was a cigar involved. I remember that. There was the cigar that apparently inserted a cigar in some part of Monica's anatomy without going into details in the Oval Office. Well, no wonder presidents since have changed their desk. It's like, you're the next president that went in there. You'd be going in there and saying, like, get this desk out of the way. This is the desk where Monica Lewinsky had a cigar inserted up her backside or wherever it was. Get that bloody desk out of the way. Get me a new desk. And then there was a dress. Apparently, he gave her lots of gifts, and she was told to keep the gifts as an insurance policy and not to dry clean a semen-stained blue dress, to keep it as an insurance policy. So there you go. That apparently is the story, without going into all the details. Now, she's still in politics. She is now an activist. I don't know if she'll ever, or if she ever has even told the full story. I don't know. So who were Bill Clinton's lovers? Let's just have a look at that. It doesn't say who his lovers were. Jennifer Flowers. She's another one. Clinton has admitted extramarital relationships with Monica Lewinsky and Jennifer Flowers, both of which have generally been accepted as consensual. Yeah, so, I mean, although Monica was a lot younger than him at the time, she wasn't underage, but she just was a lot younger. But, you could, people were so critical of Monica at the time. And, but do you imagine the president of the United States is coming on to you and you're a young girl, and he's a handsome guy, he's a good looking guy, he's a charismatic guy. Are you really, it'd be difficult not to be tempted, wouldn't it? It's all right coming down on Monica, but she was younger than him. He was the one in the position of power, even though it was consensual, even though she was overage, there was nothing illegal about it. That's not very ethical, is it? Just as a president, to try and take advantage of the young people working for you, female or male. Because you know what? It's not only females that get sort of propositioned by powerful people. Males, it happens to them too. And it's a very awkward thing. How do you say no to the president of the United States? Do you know, like it's difficult, isn't it? It's very difficult. So, that was Monica Lewinsky and the big scandal that sort of brought down really in the end. But of course, the other thing that was a scandal for Bill Clinton was the marijuana thing. It turned out that he'd smoked marijuana at college. I mean, it's like it's hardly a big thing, is it? But I suppose, it's okay because he said he did not inhale. So he finally came out and admitted that he smoked marijuana when he was at university or college or whatever, but he did not inhale. So, it didn't matter. He's like, why do you say, oh God, I was at college, everyone was smoking marijuana, for fuck's sake. If you can't get your head around that, then forget, you've just got to be honest, haven't you? You might have been the president. But you know what, if you're going to turn around and say, if the worst thing you ever did in your life was smoke marijuana at college or university or whatever, God, hold the phone, get the police quick, get the handcuffs out. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? Why didn't he just admit? And the thought, get the handcuffs out. Were you saying that he didn't inhale and we're supposed to believe that? I do remember that when I was young, seeing that, thinking, what do you mean you didn't inhale? What's the point? If you're going to smoke marijuana, why would you not inhale? I mean, it was just, it was ludicrous. It was complete ludicrous. So that was the other thing, of course, about Bill Clinton. So there was the Lewinsky thing and the marijuana thing, and then there was the Jennifer Flowers. And actually, let's have a look at her, because poor Jennifer, she doesn't get the same attention. Everybody remembers, everyone remembers Monica Lewinsky, but people don't necessarily remember Jennifer Flowers. What's she been up to? Here she is. Let's have a look at her. So Jennifer Flowers. So she was a TV journalist, American author, singer, model, actress, former state of Arkansas employee, and former TV journalist. She's now 66. What did Bill Clinton do to Jennifer Flowers? Oh, God. So in a deposition in January 1998, while denying Kathleen Willie's sexual allegations against him. Kathleen Willie. They've always got a brilliant name, haven't they? He admitted that he had a sexual encounter with flowers. And in his 2004 autobiography, My Life, he acknowledged, testifying under oath, that he had an sex encounter with flowers. Oh, God, and you can say, then you got this, you know, I mean, I think we can all accept that Bill Clinton was a serial womanizer. But was he a manizer as well? This is the question now. Is he the Bubba that's referred to in this email? I had it ready, but I need to find it again. Yeah. I mean, it does make me laugh. You just think, but this is the president of the United States, all these allegations. Can't all, but anyway, so apparently this is an email that came from Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark, who, don't forget, Mark insists that Jeffrey was murdered. Mark is convinced, his brother is convinced that Jeffrey was murdered, that he did not take his own life. Anyway, so apparently this message went out, and it was him discussing photos of Trump blowing Bubba. So apparently he said in this email, does Putin have the photo of Trump blowing Bubba? We love that one. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. And, you know, then you've got other people saying it was a different Bubba. You know, because as I say, Bubba is quite a common nickname, isn't it? It was nothing to do with Clinton. So this is the situation we're in. But I'll tell you what, all I know, and I know 100%, you know, if you look at is all of it, if you take one thing, that might not be like a bad thing or whatever, you know, it's just, but there's so much, it can't all not be true, can it? Anyway, if we go to the Hindustan Times, they're the ones that have circulated, where's that video gone? Oh, well, this is a photo of Clinton, Trump and Melania all together. Don't know who the other woman is. Talking about the email, but I thought they were the ones that had... So the other thing is that we mustn't forget, and maybe a lot of people don't even know, but very briefly, when Bill Clinton was president, Trump was a Democrat. It's like to support Clinton. He loved Clinton. He did like Clinton. There's no doubt about that. Whether Clinton went to the island or whether he did this or whether he did that or whether anything happened between us. One thing that is definitely true is they were buddies. They were big buddies. And he became a Democrat. So apparently in 2001, Trump switched his affiliation to the Democratic Party. But then in 2009, he came back to being a Republican. Oh, this is Sports Illustrated swimsuit model Kylie Bax on that photo. Yeah, strange, isn't it? I mean, was she seeing Clinton? Why are they in, I mean, the way people pose for photos, it does count. You've got her, then Trump, then Clinton, and then Melania. It's an odd sort of, is that a hand there in the background? Somebody tell me, is that a hand there at the back? That's not Trump's hand at the back of Clinton's head, is it? Stroking his ear? Probably. So now, where's it? Oh, so I want to show you this video now. So when Clinton, even he's a lot older now, of course, but he's still quite a handsome guy. I think he's still charismatic. He's just one of those people that is. So that combined with the power of his position, it made it probably easy for him to, exert his power over women, etc. So let's have a look at. So this is what he said when he was this is what he said when he was asked about it. Right, sorry, everything seemed to go weird then. Can you hear me okay? So there's lots of videos, as you can imagine, going around. Now, he apparently, after that only goes as far as him doing that weirdest smile. But after he gave that sort of weirdest smile, he said, oh, well, we've only got to look at the evidence. That's what he said. So see, his security guard there is like very concerned. Bill gives this weird smile. Security guard's all concerned. And then after that, he said, oh, well, you've only got to look at the evidence. We are looking at the evidence, of course, Bill. What else am I going to show you? Oh, so now let's have a look at this. The dog trying to get out of the dog trying to get out of the bathroom. You might hear that. Let's have a look at this one now. So here's Trump. Trumpy, what he had to say.
Bam.org. Live now to remarks from President Trump.
With the president of Harvard, who that is Summers, Larry Summers, whatever his name is, and all of the other people that he spent time with. Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years. But he also saw.
Now, he says he had a bad relationship for many years, but oh, come on, Trumpy. He was your bestie for a long time. Maybe it did go sour, your relationship. But, why don't they just tell the truth and say, oh, well, we were friends, but it all went wrong, blah, de, blah, de, blah.
Strike because I was president. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan Chase. Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
So he's trying to cast shade on Bill Clinton now. This is what's funny, really, isn't it? Is so all these guys that were all big mates years ago. You know, we've got Trump trying to say bad things about Epstein. Epstein was trying to say bad things about Trump. We saw it with Elon Musk. Elon Musk saying good things about Trump, then bad things about Trump. Make your fucking minds up. You know, you were all pals. You know, if you got Clinton, you were pals with Clinton. You changed your political leanings because of your friendship with Clinton. Just own up to it. You know, don't lie. It's lie after lie after lie. And all these guys trying to say they weren't really friends. They fucking were friends.
Fan.org. Live now to remarks from President Trump.
With the president of Harvard, who you know who that is, Summers, Larry Summers, whatever his name is, and all of the other people that he spent time with. Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years, but he also saw strength because I was president. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You got to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan Chase. Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
Quiet.
Fan.org. Live now to remarks
Yeah,
from President Trump.
you know, Trumpy, that's the other thing I don't like about Trumpy. He doesn't take contentious questions. So I don't know, someone was there saying it and he's going, quiet. Because he can't take any criticism whatsoever. But he's a president, he's going to get criticism, of course he is. You know, just, you know, be a grown-up. He's just a big man baby, isn't he? Telling that woman to be quiet because she's not asking him the questions he thinks he should be asking. So now let's have a look at what he put on his Truth Social. I'll tell you, anything that says truth, you know it's not true, don't you? Have you seen that? You know, as soon as somebody puts up truth finders, truth seeker, truth this, truth that, you think it's fucking nothing to do with the truth, because if it was, you wouldn't have to say it was. But anyway, let's have a look at, he put this video up from Fox News. So we've got to show the other side of it. So as you can imagine, this is defending him.
Democrats want you to forget all about the shutdown shellacking. So they're launching a smear campaign disguised as a bombshell. The Jeffrey Epstein emails.
Oh,
Congress is dumping thousands of documents, and Democrats are using them to frame Trump. But we've been combing.
I think there's probably a little bit of truth to that, like everything. Of course, the Democrats are trying to frame Donald. You know, I understand that. I really understand them saying that. But, you know, it's not only that, is it? There's too much.
Coming through them and can't find anything nailing Trump. Even Axios says the emails contained no real smoking gun. The files do show Epstein's deep ties to liberals, like anti-Trump author Michael Wolff. He colluded with Epstein on how to blackmail Trump. Wolff told Epstein in 2015, if you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. Why is Wolff giving a pedophile PR advice and coaching him to take down the president? That wasn't the only writer Epstein colluded with. A New York Times reporter gave Epstein a heads up that a former cop was investigating him for a book. That reporter was pushed out of the company after they found he asked Epstein for a $30,000 donation. Larry Summers, who worked for Bill Clinton and Obama, was also pen pals with Epstein. He was asking him for tips on women. Who goes to Jeffrey Epstein for dating advice? Epstein didn't just have ties to the Democrats and the media. He had foreign connections. Before Trump met Putin in 2018, Epstein was pitching himself to the Kremlin, saying he could give Russia insight on Trump. which is weird because if the Kremlin was controlling Trump like the Democrats accused him, why did they need insight? He wasn't just any old rich American. He was well connected to top players all over the world, from Israel to Saudi Arabia. And it wasn't a secret. Epstein went to Clinton's White House 17 times. And Slick Willie was a frequent flyer on the so-called Lolita Express. Clinton.
Slick Willie. So they're coming up with all these nicknames out. We've got Donica Trump for Donald, and Bubba was President Clinton's nickname at some point. But now we've got Slick Willie as well. It's crazy. Do you know, talk about crazy world. This is America. This is the president of America.
Clinton and Epstein seemed like pals. But when it comes to Trump, Jeffrey had TDS. I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. Trump should wear that like a badge of honor. The slimiest guy in the world hating you is a good thing. Epstein even admitted Trump, quote, never got a massage. The same author, Epstein.
So Epstein, now don't forget, this was years and years ago. When, you know, Epstein's been dead for years, for God's sake. He's not just saying this now. He is the ghost of Christmas past, as we know. He's going to keep coming, isn't he? Not only haunting Andrew, but haunting Trump, haunting Clinton, haunting everybody. Because these things are being drip-fed. And you just wonder what else is going to come out eventually. But anyway, so he's criticising Trump here. This just, he obviously was good friends with Trump at some point. Now suddenly he hates him. And suddenly Trump hates Epstein. Oh, and he says he doesn't even remember meeting Andrew, the former Andrew, formerly known as Prince. Says he doesn't remember even meeting him. There's loads of photos with him. He says he doesn't remember meeting Peter Mandelson. There's photos of him with Peter Mandelson. He's another one. They're all combined in some way. Is it ever going to come out the full thing?
Epstein colluded with even said this.
Epstein believed that it was Trump who first informed the police about what was going on at Epstein's house.
Interesting.
And from that point on, they were nothing but bitter enemies.
So Trump dropped a dime on Epstein, but Democrats say they're best buds? And that Biden and Obama's DOJ had proof Trump was compromised, but waited 3 elections to keep it a secret? They arrested Trump over bookkeeping and want us to believe they had real dirt and didn't use it.
The Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration. You were there for 4 years. How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then?
It's true. He sounds a bit weird, this guy, but it's true. Joe Biden was in power for 4 years. Why didn't he release the Epstein files? No, we have to look at all avenues, don't we?
What am I missing?
Ghislaine Maxwell said Trump did nothing wrong. So have Epstein's victims and Epstein's lawyer. And none of these emails implicate Trump. So we're back to square one.
Well, we're sort of not really, because you know what? Ghislaine Maxwell is not going to criticise Trump while she's hoping for a pardon from him. There isn't a cat's hell of a chance that Ghislaine Maxwell is going to say anything against President Trump, even if there was something to say. I'm not saying there is, but even if there was, she's not going to say it. She wants to be pardoned, doesn't she? And then, Virginia didn't say, to be fair, in her book, she didn't say anything bad about Trump. But again, was she scared? Because she didn't name the other prime minister, did she? The Israeli guy. Maybe she was scared, but do you know what I mean? What is the truth here in this case? I don't know.
Congress is playing games, holding fake votes to drop more files. But that's not going to happen because it's up to a judge and they won't release grand jury testimony. This is now looking more and more like a ploy to divide Republicans and smear the president. For a party that claims to care about affordability, they sure waste a lot of time on old emails. Primetime wants to get to the bottom of the Epstein saga more than anybody. We've been covering the story for years. But the story isn't about Trump. It's about foreign intelligence, blackmail, and cover-ups.
Now, it could be that Putin has got a hand in this as well, you know. It just could be. I don't know what happened years ago. All I know is if you look at the photographic evidence, he definitely... Trump was a friend of Epstein. He can say he wasn't. He can say whatever he likes, but he was a friend of his, a big friend of his. And I don't believe for a minute that he didn't know what was going on. And I believe 100% that Melania herself was trafficked. And that's how he ended up meeting Melania. Now, after that, I don't know. But you've also got to remember that Trump is a convicted sex offender. Have people forgotten about that? And then the money he gave to Stormy Daniels. It's like people have forgotten. There's so much. He's like, nothing ever sticks to him. And I'm going to show you in a minute the way he talks about his own daughter. His own daughter who calls herself a feminist. And the way her own father talks about her. And the thought of my father talking about me like that, I just cannot get my head around it.
Christopher Rufo is a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute and host of the Rufo and Lomez podcast. All right, Chris, what does your gut tell you about what's going on here?
Look, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein is an increasingly and enormously powerful man, even in death. He is like a human hand grenade, and both sides, both camps, keep trying to toss him onto the other side and hoping that it explodes. But again and again, the evidence suggests that while Trump did know Epstein, he did party with Epstein on occasion, he wasn't involved in any of Epstein's crimes. And in fact, when he figured out what was going on, he banned Epstein from his Mar-a-Lago club and resort. And so the president, I think, had successfully established boundaries, and the Dems are just trying to agitate against him and trying to use whatever bits and pieces from these documents to get the president. But look, the president has been through a lot. He's been indicted. He's been arrested. He's been mugshotted. He's been shot through the ear. A couple of misrepresented snippets from these emails is not going to result in much.
How do you think the Republican Party is handling the Epstein situation?
I think the Republican Party, in part, has taken the bait, and there's this scrambling about the various bills and the court hearings. It's so convoluted, it's given the Democrats an opportunity to demagogue against it. But I think overall, the best policy is one of transparency. The more documents can be revealed, the maximum amount the courts.
Listen, when the videos come out, if they ever do, there's videos there. Do you know, Epstein, he was a collector. He collected politicians, royal family, anybody powerful, influential, the royal family, Andrew. He collected them and then he blackmailed them. He took photos, he had videos. There's videos out there. Whether they'll ever get released, I really don't know. But there's definitely videos out there. And, do you know, Epstein, he must be bloody laughing in his grave, really. He's probably spinning in hell. I bloody hope so. I haven't put him in the hellhole just for the simple reason that he hasn't actually murdered anyone, or at least as far as I know. But he must be loving all this turmoil, because that's what he liked. It's control. It was all about control for Epstein, wasn't it? So he's still got the control, even though he's been dead for years. And who is leaking the emails? Who is leaking all this stuff? And as that guy said, a bit sort of shouty way, why did Biden not release these files? Is that because Clinton's implicated? I mean, you know, nobody wants to release the files because there's so many people implicated. Everyone's got a vested interest, whether you're Democrat, Republican, whoever you are. Everyone's got an interest because there are so many people implicated, so many, and nobody apart from Ghislaine is in prison.
Can let loose to the public. I think that's better. And I think the evidence should, wherever it falls, it falls. The evidence thus far suggests that Trump had no involvement in the Epstein crimes. But I think certainly some very powerful people from all political persuasions and business and politics and academia and science are trying to keep these documents out of the public eye because, look, some very powerful and very well-known people were doing some very naughty things.
Yep, that's what it appears to be, too. All right, Chris, great work. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So what happens, isn't it? Don't you think it's like the Fox News who are always on the side of Trump? You know, they won't accept any wrongdoing against Trump, and then you'll probably get the Democrats won't accept any wrongdoing against Clinton. So everyone's got their reasons for no. You know, they probably all did something wrong. You know, I'm not. My position is I'm not. You know, rooting for Trump or rooting for Clinton or rooting for anyone except the victims. You know, who did it? When did they do it? I don't give a shit what political persuasion they are. Why have they not been found accountable? And it's like they're not being found accountable because if one of them gets found accountable, it's like the domino effect again, isn't it? So we've already had Andrew now had his titles stripped off him. Ooh, oh my God, poor Andrew. Oh my God, he can't be called Prince anymore. Oh God, he's got moved from one fucking massive estate to another massive estate. Oh my God, one mansion to another. How will he possibly cope? Are we really supposed to feel sorry for Andrew? He's not in prison. Where's his handcuffs? Where's the handcuffs for Andrew? Yeah. He's not had any accountability. If that was my dad, my uncle, my cousin, my nephew, my son, they would be in prison now for what Andrew did. But no, not Andrew, because he's a member of the royal family, and then it all comes back to that again. And I still think, you know, it's not even only Andrew. You can throw Andrew under the bus. What about why hasn't Peter Mandelson lost his title as far as being a lord is concerned? Even that the Queen's favourite artist was Rolf Harris, who's a paedophile. You know, then you've got Charlie Boy and how popular Jimmy was with him. He was knighted. Hugh Edward, I mean, you could just go on and on and on. It's not just to do with Andrew. It's not just to do with Trumpy. It's not just to do with Bill Clinton. They're all in it together. They're all in it together, and that's why it's not coming out properly. They're all blaming each other and saying the other people were bad people. They're all bad people, all of them. You know, and this is the guy that's wielding the power even from beyond the grave. And I think he probably was bumped off. But I don't think it'll make any difference. I think the fact he was bumped off actually perhaps makes it even worse. And this poor girl, that was her when she was 17 years old. She was probably bumped off as well. Allegedly, probably, whichever way you look at it. Still people out there say that she's a liar. You know, but she was trafficked. Why don't people get that? I don't understand. Why people don't understand that a man of 41, like Andrew was at the time, and a girl of 17, even if it was a legal age, it's not right. And a man with power, people with money, connections, you know, of course she's going to have her head turned at the age of 17, isn't she? You know, it's like not only a girl, boys, I don't see why people can't seem to get that. it's like she must have done something wrong because she went along with it. Well, yeah, she went along with it. She probably was lured by the money and all that kind of thing. You're telling me any 17-year-old girl who tomorrow you said to her, oh, you know, I'm going to give you this fantastic lifestyle, you're going to meet the royal family. They won't be talking about abuse when they first get, you know, going with it all. You're going to come to a private island, you're going to fly on a private jet. She's 17 years old. Of course her head got turned by it. God, and people can't see that. Oh, don't forget, he doesn't sweat. I liked showing that photo. This is the man who didn't sweat. Oh dear, poor Virginia. I say poor Virginia. I'm going to put a photo of her up there, but you know, yeah, poor Virginia, 41 years old, either took her own life or was red-rummed by the same people that red-rummed everybody else who's involved in this. You know, every day I wake up and think, oh my God, the Andrew formerly known as Prince, I fully expect something to happen to him. And you know what? I think the only reason why nothing's happened to Ghislaine is because she is saying, oh, Trump had nothing to do there. And she's hoping from this pardon from Trump. So she's probably safe for now anyway. Till she turns, then she might not be safe. Right, what else have I got to show you? Hi, proud liberal. Yeah. Well, do you know, it's interesting what you say there, proud liberal, about Epstein's brother issuing a statement that Bubba was just a joke. The thing is, you don't know what the truth is. So this is supposed to be. Actually, I'm not going to do that because it's a supposed response from Donald Trump, but I don't think it is the real Donald Trump. but it is the sort of thing that Donald Trump might say. I'm not going to show it, but I'm just going to read it out. This is supposedly a post from Donald Trump, but I don't think it's real. The Epstein files are a Democratic hoax. It's fake news. If I had SUCKED Bill Clinton's DICK, it would have been the best, most toe-curling BLOW job in presidential history. I mean, see, the trouble is, I know it's not real, but you can imagine Donald Trump saying that, because he wouldn't just give a B job, would he? It'd be the best one ever. It'd be the best. It was fantastic, really, you know, blah, blah, blah. Because everything that Donald does, according to him, is the best. Oh, here we've got the email. Finally, I found the email that I was looking for before. Let's have another look at that email. So, yeah. Oh, no, that's the one that I thought I had before, but I haven't. Never mind, forget the email. I mean, at the end of the day, the email, basically, it just said, has Putin got the photo of Trump blowing Bubba? So it didn't say Bill Clinton, it said Bubba, and then everybody's saying that Bubba was his thingy. Now, did I show this video before? Again, I don't know if this has been photoshopped. Somebody was saying on there, this is really just Trump going to shake someone's hand and someone's manipulated it. Don't know. Sorry, just mate. Can't be real, can it? That's why they're calling him Donica. Oh dear. And of course it's, you know, Donald You know, he is eccentric, isn't he? I mean, you can't say he's not. And of course, his favourite song is The Village People, isn't it? You know, it's like he's sort of playing into people's hands all the time. But who knows what the truth? You know, in this crazy world we live in now, I haven't got a clue what the truth is. But let's have a look at this video. One thing we do know that is true, these are real videos. This is Trump talking about his daughter. And somebody please tell me that this is a normal way to talk about your daughter, because I don't think it is.
She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Ivanka?
Yeah, who says that about if she wasn't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her? Right, okay. And then listen to this.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't.
What? What? Look at her face. She's thinking, for fuck's sake, Dad, you always embarrass me, whatever. Do you know, sex? So someone says to you, what's the thing you most have in common with your daughter? Or son, if it was the other way around, and you say sex. For fuck's sake. That is weird as anything. He is weird.
If I weren't happily married and, you know, her father.
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more.
So, and then another man says to him about his daughter, can I say this? She's a piece of ass. Now, I know a lot of you out there are fathers. I have a lot of people watching who are fathers, grandfathers, or whatever. You wouldn't want someone saying that about your wife, really, would you? Or your girlfriend, never mind your daughter. He's not right in the head, whatever, this man. I tell you, it's not. It's not the right way to talk about your daughter as if she was a commodity.
More voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
It's going to be dating her in 10 years. I just think this is vile. Vile way to talk about your daughter. So regardless of Epstein files, regardless of anything else, just the way he talks about his own daughter is foul. This man is foul.
She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
If I weren't happily married and, you know, her father.
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka.
So, okay, so you Trumpers out there, I know some of my followers are Trumpers. Do you want to say to me that that is right? That will there be people coming on and saying, oh, we never really said that. Oh, we didn't mean that. Oh, honestly, how many excuses are you going to make for this man? You know, that's a disgusting way to talk about your daughter. So he's either a complete weirdo or he is on something. I don't know. I mean, what sort of way is that to talk about your daughter? So very odd, the whole thing. Hi, JP. So there you go. That's what I've got to talk to you about today. Why is he not in these? why is this all still, whatever the truth is about Bubba, and I've got to put the Bubba emojis on. Whatever is the truth about Bubba and Donica, maybe there's nothing in that. But I think there's a lot of red flags about his relationship with his daughter. The way he talks about her anyway, it's just, I think he's probably, was he high or something? I don't know. What sort of, who talks about the daughter like that? Who does talk about their daughter like that? I don't know. Nobody I know, that's for sure. Right, so sorry, I was just having a little read of the chat, but I've got to go now anyway. But look, everyone's got their opinions, of course, and we're all entitled to our own opinions. But I think what we always have to come down and remember is this is the President of the United States of America. President of the free world. Anyone who's a president, a prime minister, or anything like that people look up to them. People listen to the things they say and they react. People act how their leaders act, and it's just, this got something gone wrong with leadership. Think about years ago, we all complained about leadership, with your all the old prime ministers and presidents, everyone moaned, any president or prime minister is going to get moaned about. Of course they are, because that's the nature of what they're doing. But have you ever known anything like what's going on at the moment? And that's why, although I know a lot of people don't like Keir Starmer, who's now the Prime Minister of Great Britain, I'm not 100% sort of enamoured of him, but, people say he's boring. I like boring. He's going off, he's actually, if people could just look outside Great Britain for 1 minute, he's this better reputation that now Great Britain is getting over the world, except with Elon Musk or Donald Trump, but who cares about them anyway? He's presenting this more serious sort of, gravitas in his position. And that is what is necessary. I like boring people. I want him to be boring. I don't want to see him all over the news, inserting cigars up women's asses, don't forget Boris Johnson, Carrie, who he's now married to, but she gave him a BLO job in 10 Downing Street. What the fuck? Sorry. Just have some respect for the country, the position that you're in and the country that you serve. People will always disagree with your policies. They won't like, for every policy you bring out, there'll be, 100 people who think it's brilliant and there'll be 500 people who think it's terrible, or a million, perhaps I should make that. But, all you can be in the end is true to yourself and not do these things. And I think sometimes I wonder, is Donald Trump just literally a puppet of Putin, literally, or the whatever he's just put there, he's just a stooge, isn't he? Because when it comes to doing anything proper, Putin just laughs at him. He's probably has got something on him. Anyway, I think he's a puppet, yeah. Oh, yeah, they've got Kai Trump. She's becoming this golfing star. I saw that. But you know what? As well, that's her, she's part of her family. I think Donald Trump would like to be remembered as his family. He would like them to be like the Kennedys, this sort of dynasty of the Kennedys. But do you know what? The Kennedys, again, JFK, he was another one, followed by scandal, but he was a good president. But what happened to him? He got shot. It's like he was a good president, but he had a lot of scandal following him around. You know, I don't know. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Miss Russia was with Donald in 1996. She likes his Eastern European women, doesn't he, Donald Trump? And then, of course, he ran the Miss Universe pageant in Russia, in Moscow. You know, he's got all these ties. Anyway, that's, you know, I could go on and on. But anyway, I've got to go. I'm going to go make a nice spaghetti bolognese, I think we're going to have today. Listen, thank you so much for watching. I don't know what else is going to come out, where this is all going to go in the end. I don't, you know, I do feel sometimes that there's so much, what's the word? So much misinformation out there. You don't know what is the truth, do you? You know, you just literally do not know. But the photos are, you know, the photos of him with Epstein and everything, they're all true. And of course, and he was friendly with Clinton. So he can't say he wasn't. He changed his political allegiance. He became a Democrat at the time. You know, he must have thought Clinton was brilliant. And then he turned back to being a Republican again. But what's indisputable is that he did like Clinton. He was mates with Clinton. He was mates with Epstein. He did meet Andrew, even though he says he didn't. He did meet Mandelson, even though he says he didn't. Why he tells lies about things that there's photographic proof, you know, I don't know. So the trouble is, when someone tells you a load of lies, you can't believe anything they say after that, can you? Okay, I'm off. So thank you for watching. And yeah, don't forget to hit like. I think I've got an emoji for that. Please hit like, and yeah, of course, let me know what you feel, what you think in comments, whatever your thoughts are, and I'll see you really soon in the very next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Thank you.